Hey, howdy Tama fam. This is Eric from the Tamagotchi Collectors Facebook group, as well as tamatown.com. And this video will be a tutorial on how to fix the flickering screen issue on a Tamagotchi Ps. Ever since I posted my first tutorial video, a common question I've received is if I know how to fix the flickering screen issue that is so common on the Tamagotchi Ps and the IDL. If you haven't seen what that issue was referring to, I have a Tamagotchi Ps here that we'll be fixing today. If you look at the screen, you can see that it pulsates. That is more or less the screen flicker problem. It varies in severity to a pulsation like this, to sometimes you'll occasionally see black screens because the flicker is so bad. But more or less, this is the issue, and this is what we're trying to solve for today. And apparently it's common among a lot of Tamagotchi Ps and IDL owners. I actually did not know how to fix this up until recently. So I want to give a huge shout out to Pulsirvong and JC Hirschberger of the Tamagotchi community. Both of them were nice enough to donate Tamagotchi Ps and IDLs that had the flicker issue that I could experiment on. That allowed me to come up with a solution and is the only reason I'm able to make this video for you today. I'm going to link to both of their Tamagotchi Instagrams in the video description, and I would greatly appreciate anyone who would give them a follow, maybe say thank you. Just anything, because this is a problem that apparently a lot of people have been experiencing, and as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been a definitive solution or fix ever documented until this video today. So, all right, first you're going to need a soldering kit. It doesn't need to be fancy, but it should have a soldering iron, a rest for that iron, and an adjustable temperature. You'll also need the Tamagotchi that you want to fix. In our case, I'll be fixing a Tamagotchi Ps. You'll want to have a screwdriver to open up that Tamagotchi. And the reason you're going to open it up is to insert this replacement capacitor. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. Now, replacing this capacitor is what will resolve the flickering screen issue for us. I'm going to put a link in the video description on where you can order these capacitors. I'll also be putting in the specs of these capacitors. That way, if the link I provide will not ship to your home country, you can look up the specs and find a manufacturer that will ship to your country. They're not very expensive. I bought about 50 of them for $4 before shipping, which is not bad at all considering that each one will fix a Tamagotchi with the flickering screen issue. So, very affordable. Lastly, you'll want to have a coil of solder. Now, I may not end up using this. Typically, I don't. But it's nice to have, because what I typically do is I'll remove the old capacitor, and I'll use the existing solder that held the old capacitor in place to solder in the new capacitor. But just in case I botched the soldering job, or the existing capacitor didn't have much solder to begin with, and I have trouble getting the new capacitor to stick, it's convenient to have a coil of solder to add a drop or two to the circuit board just to make the new capacitor stick really well. So with that in mind, I will go ahead and switch the camera angles and we can open up this Tamagotchi and get started. Okay, here's the Tamagotchi. You can see that the screen is still flickering. I went ahead and removed the screws, so all we have to do is flip it over, take the batteries out, and open up the shell. So I'll do that now. You might wonder why the back of the shell is a different color than the front, and that's just because I was doing a shell swap the other day, not related to this fix. So you can ignore that for the purpose of this video. Open it up so you can see the existing capacitor. So here's the existing capacitor right here. This is the one we're going to replace with the new one. And the important thing to note about capacitors is that they have to be installed in a specific orientation. So when you look at the capacitor, you'll see that it's all blue except for one band. Now this band lines up with one of the two prongs, and you'll want to make sure that this band and this prong are oriented in the same way as the existing capacitor and its band and its prong. So on this capacitor, it's hard to see, but it's all green except for a whitish band right there, and that band matches up to this top prong. So when we install the new one, we're going to install it the same way, with this band lining up with this prong, and it'll be oriented just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up the soldering iron to 316 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll go ahead and start removing it. I'm just going to turn this up and start pulling on it. Oops. So we can focus a little better. All right, I'm going to start pulling on it to your left at the same time that I'm touching the solder. There we go. That's it. It's removed. So I'm going to get the new capacitor, and I'm going to orient it the same way so that the white band is on top, and we're going to install it just like this. All right. So now it's installed. I'm going to put in the new batteries. And now we should not see any screen flicker. And there we go. There is no more screen flicker. And that's the cause, is this old capacitor. Now, I mentioned earlier in this video that this issue can also impact the IDL. So I'm going to end this video with a before and after clip showing an IDL with a flickering screen issue that I also fixed. It was actually a lot more noticeable than the flicker on this piece. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the process, have any questions or need help ordering the replacement parts, you can just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or a comment or a DM here. I don't even know if you can DM on YouTube. But I'm Yeah Right Sure on Instagram. I'm Eric on the Tamagotchi Collectors Facebook group. And I'm also Yeah Right Sure on the Tamagotchi Collectors Discord. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps someone. And have a good day.